Hello and welcome to Keys to the Kingdom, How to Plan a Disney World Vacation. This is Angie Lusk from Trips with Angie. I am so excited you are here, so let's get started. In today's webinar, we are going to cover an overview of Disney World, when to book a Disney vacation, choosing your ideal travel dates, choosing a resort, which park pass is right for you, and is the dining plan right for you? Since this is a replay, you're not going to be able to ask questions live, but you can always email me at angie@tripswithangie.com. So first, let me tell you a little bit more about me. I'm Angie Lusk. I love to travel. I specialize in Disney World vacations, Caribbean all-inclusive resort vacations, cruises, and bucket list trips. I live in Tampa, Florida, so I visit Disney World often. So that lets me keep up on all the changes and updates. And the best part is that if you book your cruise, tour, or hotel resort vacation package through me, I don't charge any fees. So it's a win-win. You get all of my expertise and help without paying any additional fees. This picture is of a day earlier this year where after 8 years, I finally beat my husband at Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin. So you could say I was definitely dedicated to getting that done since we visit Disney World 6 to 8 times a year. So let's just dive in. So what makes up Disney World? There's 4 parks: Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom, 2 water parks, 27 resorts, 5 golf courses, 2 spas, ESPN Wide World of Sports, and Disney Springs. Going through each of the park, Magic Kingdom is the park most people associate with Disney World. It has the most rides and attractions. It's best for younger children. Right now, it's the only spot for a parade, and it has an evening fireworks show. Epcot, or the big golf ball, some of you may know it as, has the World Showcase. It has some of the best restaurants, in my opinion. It has an evening laser show, and right now it just debuted the Frozen ride and is hosting Anna and Elsa Frozen meet and greets. It also has my favorite ride, which is Soarin', that recreates a hang glider trip across the world. Hollywood Studios is home to Doc McStuffins, Toy Story, and Star Wars. Right now, a lot of the park is under construction as they expand the Star Wars and Toy Story experiences. But if you have big Star Wars or Disney Junior fans in your family, it's definitely worth a visit. Animal Kingdom is well named since it's home to a lot of animals. It also has some roller coasters, a great show that's based on The Lion King with all kinds of acrobats and fire dancing. And it also has one of the favorite character dining experiences at the Tusker House. So if you're looking for a great dining experience for those Donald Duck fans out there, I highly recommend the Tusker House. So in terms of the other stuff, there's 2 water parks, Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon. There's 4 18-hole golf courses and 1 9-hole golf course. Now you may ask yourself, why does Disney World have golf courses? Well, the reason is Disney World attracts a lot of conventions and corporate annual meetings. So they want to have those extra amenities those groups are looking for. It has 2 full-service spas, one at Saratoga Springs and one at the Grand Floridian. There's the ESPN Wide World of Sports, which hosts sports competitions. You may have heard of the Invictus Games earlier this year when Prince Harry was over here from England. I've been there for cheer and dance competition. It hosts spring training for Major League Baseball. Disney Springs is an entertainment zone is kind of the best way to describe it. It has different restaurants and shopping, and it's where people go if they want to have a later night at Disney World because some of the options there are open a little bit later. So, when to book? So the big thing to know is that Disney dining reservations open 180 days prior to arrival. So if you want to go in and make a reservation for one of those hard-to-get reservations like Cinderella's Royal Table, Chef Mickey's, California Grill, you want to do that 6 months in advance. And it's important to have your reservation on the book 6 months in advance because when you have a reservation at a Disney resort, you're able to go in and make reservations for your whole stay. So basically, you're making reservations potentially more than 6 months in advance because you're able to make reservations for your whole stay. So what does that mean for the busy travel times? That means for spring break, you want to be booking now through October. For summer, you want to be booked by January. For fall break, you want to be booked by April. And for the winter holidays, you want to be booked by May. So when's the best time to travel? When we think about the best, there's a number of different factors that come into play. So when's the best weather? When's the least amount of crowds? What kind of special events are available? And what really works best for your schedule? So if we're talking about weather, the best weather is going to be February through May. June to November is hurricane season in Florida. So it's going to be hot, humid, rainy, and it's only going to get hotter and rainier as time goes on. August, September, and October are going to be worse than June. It's not one of those things where you kind of hit a peak in August like you do in the Midwest or the Northeast and things start to cool down. Nope, it just keeps going up till we hit November. In terms of the crowd, the basic rule of thumb is anytime U.S. schools are in session, then it's going to be less busy at Walt Disney World. So you can see from the outline there, January and February is less busy. You just have to avoid the holiday weekends. So you have MLK Day and President's Day. There's also marathons that happen in January and February, so just avoiding those weekends as well. May is a good time. You're after spring break, but before summer break. Same with September through mid-October. You're after the summer break, but before the holidays. And then those weeks in between Thanksgiving and Christmas tend to be a little less busy because if people are going to come to Disney World, they tend to come over the holidays. So the week of Thanksgiving, the week of Christmas, the week of New Year's. When it comes to special events, Run Disney hosts a series of marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks, and half marathons. So those are sprinkled throughout the year. The Epcot Food and Garden Festival takes place in the spring. It's usually co-sponsored by HGTV, so you'll see a lot of those celebrities there holding seminars, special events. They add these beautiful topiaries throughout Epcot. They also add little kiosks with special food and beer and wine. So it's a great time to go visit. There's usually also a concert series that goes along with it. You can hear different artists. Epcot Food and Wine Festival is similar. That takes place in the fall, September through early November. That is when they have a number of special events just for food and wine lovers. You have wine seminars, tequila seminars, special dinners hosted by the marquee chefs, both at the Disney World properties and just across the U.S. You'll also find a marathon associated with that, and you'll see those kiosks as well throughout the World Showcase featuring different wine, beer, and snacks from the different countries. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party takes place at the Magic Kingdom September and October. It's a specially ticketed event, so it's not included in your park admission. It has a special parade, a special show, a special fireworks, and little trick-or-treat stations located throughout the park. That transitions into Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party in November and December. That also has little stations set up around the park with goodies like hot chocolate and cookies. And that also has a special parade show and fireworks show. So when it comes down to what is the best time for you to go, it's up to you. It's your vacation. What works best for your family? One thing to keep in mind is that there's price breaks at the age of 3 and the age of 10. So any children under the age of 3 do not need a ticket. And since a ticket is a big price driver for how expensive the Disney World packages can be, that is a huge savings if you can go right before your child's 3rd birthday. And then at age 10, they're considered an adult. So just keep that in mind, as you're thinking about time of year. If maybe you can sneak in right before that 3rd or 10th birthday, that's going to be some money savings. So how to choose a resort? So the on-site resorts have a number of perks, and I listed them here in the order which I think they're most important. The first is that FastPass reservations open at 60 days prior to arrival. What is a FastPass? A FastPass is included with every ticket that's sold, so it's no extra fee, and you can reserve 3 FastPasses in advance per day for one park. And what that is that's basically you reserve a time where you can enter an expedited line for an attraction or ride or a special viewing area for a show or parade. This is a huge time savings, especially for the more popular rides that are going to have lines of 2 hours long. So being able to go in and make those fast pass reservations for your stay 60 days in advance is a huge perk for staying on property, because everyone else has to wait until 30 days and do them day by day. So if you're staying at a Disney resort 60 days prior to your arrival, you can go in and make fast passes for your whole stay. One shot, get it all done. If you're not staying at a Disney resort, 30 days prior to your arrival, you can go in and make a fast pass reservation for your day of arrival. Then you have to go in the next day and make your next set of fast passes. And then you have to go in the next day and make your next set of fast passes. So this is a huge benefit. Another big benefit about staying at a Disney resort is that you can add a dining plan. And we're going to go a little bit in depth into those dining plans a little bit later. But this can be a 25 to 35% cost savings, depending on how many table service meals you decide to do while you're at Disney World. Another perk is that Disney reservations open 180 days prior to arrival for the whole stay. We talked about that a little bit before. Extra magic hours will allow you entrance into a park either before it opens or after it closes on select days. Now, it's not going to be every day. It's not going to be every park every day. But during the course of your visit, you'll see the different parks will have these extra magic hours where if you're staying at a Disney resort, you can go in early or stay later. And then obviously the transportation that takes you between the airport and the hotel, and then the hotels and all the parks, is a nice perk. All of the resorts have a quick service restaurant, and what I mean by quick service is it's counter service. You walk up to a counter, you order, you take your food back with you to eat it. They all have pools. Most have external hallways. What I mean by that is when you're in your room and you open the door to your room, you're outside. You're not in a hallway. And they all have that Disney transportation. So Disney World has 4 categories of resorts: value, moderate, deluxe, villas. They also have a campground which features RV spots, cabins, and tent spots. So value resorts. So the value resorts offer rooms with 2 double beds, 1 king bed, or a family suite, depending on the resort. The standard rooms all have exterior hallways, and the resorts will have a quick service dining option. The pools are themed but do not have slides. So just to give you an idea of the price point, this is just to give you an idea, the standard rooms can range from $101 per night to $228 per night excluding tax, and family suites, which are 2-room suites with 2 bathrooms, can range from $325 a night to $533 a night excluding tax. And my favorite value resort is Art of Animation. You can see here the Finding Nemo pool and the Cars area. If you have family members who are big fans of Cars, Lion King, Finding Nemo, or Little Mermaid, this is a fantastic place to stay. The theming is great. It's so much fun. And I really like their quick service restaurant. It has a lot of different options. A moderate resort now allows you to have up to 5 people in a room, which is great. They accomplish that with 2 queen beds and a trundle bed or a pull-down bunk. These also have exterior hallways. They will have a quick service and a table service restaurant. So table service means either you go in, get the menu, order, they bring the food to your table, or it's a buffet. The pools all have slides. And again, just to give you a general idea, standard rooms range from $187 per night to $382 per night, depending on time of year. And this slide you can see here is from Port Orleans French Quarter, my favorite moderate resort. It also has a sister resort, Port Orleans Riverside. I really like these resorts. They have a great table service option. The Riverside pool is really, really fun. French Quarter is a little bit smaller, so if you want something not quite as big as the other moderate resorts, it's just a great option. Deluxe resorts have all kinds of different room configurations. They have suites, 2 king beds, some of them even have bunk beds, so you have a lot of different options. Some of them have interior hallways, so the room will open up into a hallway, and they'll have more than one quick service or table service option. The big thing about the deluxe resorts, though, is these are going to be the resorts that are closest to the park. So when someone says, I want to be right by Magic Kingdom, then you're going to be staying at a deluxe resort. Or if you want to be in the cluster that's around Hollywood Studios and Epcot or near Animal Kingdom, those are all going to be your deluxe resorts, because that'll give you the option of a boat, or you can walk or take the monorail to the closest park. Otherwise, for the value and moderate resorts, you're taking a bus. So can you guess which deluxe resort this is? It is the Animal Kingdom Lodge. This is my favorite deluxe resort for a longer stay, where you're going to plan to have a day or two just relaxing at the resort. It's absolutely incredible. It's like staying at a zoo. I would just sit on my balcony and watch the giraffes eat. I mean, it just really, it's the coolest thing. So this really is one of my most favorite deluxe resorts. My other favorite deluxe resorts for a shorter stay, or if you have little kids with you, is the Contemporary. So this is the view from the terrace outside the California Grill. As you can see, you're looking right down into Magic Kingdom. You can get a room that has a theme park view, which means you can watch the fireworks from your view. So you can see why with small children that would be a huge perk. You get everybody back to the room, baths taken, pajamas on, everyone's all settled in, but you can still see that great fireworks show right from your room. The other great perk about the Contemporary is that you can walk to the Magic Kingdom from there. It can be, some people say it's a 5-minute walk. I say more like 12 to 20 minutes, especially if you have people with little legs joining you. But I love that. It's when, especially if you're going to stay at the parks till they close or till after, the big parades, as people are funneling out and getting into lines for boats or monorails or buses, you know that you can be back to your resort in 12 minutes just by walking. So I think that is just such a great perk of staying at the Contemporary. They also have villas. So villas are more like condo style accommodations. You're going to have full kitchens. And the studio has like a kitchenette, but then the 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom options have full kitchens. They don't have as many amenities in the actual building of the villas. So for instance, Bay Lake Tower, which is attached to the Contemporary, you would have to go over to the Contemporary Resort to access the quick service dining location, to access the transportation, things like that. So you really share those amenities with the deluxe resort. So that's just something to keep in mind. And those are going to price a little bit less than the deluxe resorts because you don't have as many amenities. Okay, so now we know which resort is right for you. How do you pick a park pass? So how do you decide what park pass you need? Disney has 3 main types of park passes: a 1 park a day, a park hopper, and a water parks and fun option. So 1 park a day is just what it sounds like. You can visit 1 park per day. So if you get a 4-day, 1 park per day, you can go to the same park all 4 days. You can go to a different park each day, but you can only go into 1 park each day. You can come and go, so you could go to the Magic Kingdom, come back, take a nap, and go back to the Magic Kingdom, but you wouldn't be able to go to Hollywood Studios. The park hopper allows you to visit more than 1 park in a day. So you can start at Magic Kingdom, go to Hollywood Studios, go to Epcot, go to Animal Kingdom, and just visit, each of the parks in whatever order on whatever day you'd like. The water parks and fun option has a lot of things included in it. So if it's something you're interested, I can go into it more in depth. The important thing to know about this, though, is that if you have a park hopper and you're thinking about going to a water park, it is less expensive to upgrade to the water parks and fun option pass than it would be just to buy a ticket to the water park. So how do you figure out how many days you go? So this is my general minimum guideline. And just to be clear, I do not think you can see everything in every park on this time schedule. You could get in, sort of hit the highlights, and get out. Magic Kingdom usually takes everybody 2 days, a minimum of 2 days, because there's so many attractions and so many things people want to see. Hollywood Studios, especially right now while it's under construction, is a half-day park. Now, when I say half-day at Disney World is 7 hours. It's not 4 hours, just to be clear. Like most people go in and have, 14-hour days, 12-hour days. Even if you do take a break in the middle, it's still pretty long. Animal Kingdom is a half-day park, especially if your family isn't big roller coaster fans. You can go in, you can do the safari, go to the show, see some animals, do the 3D movie, maybe ride one or two of the smaller rides, and be done in about half a day. Epcot is also half a day if you don't really want to go in depth exploring the World Showcase. So in total, 3.5 days for sure you will need. Again, I've seen people go for 10 days with park hoppers and not see everything. But a couple things to keep in mind when you're making those decisions is, do you want to see all the shows? So every park has its own evening show. So if you want to see every evening show, you need at least a 4-day ticket. The other piece is that dining reservations for restaurants within each park require park admission. So if you get that awesome reservation at Cinderella's Royal Table, on the same day you get that awesome reservation at the Disney Junior character dining at Hollywood Studios, you're going to need a park hopper because one restaurant's in Magic Kingdom, one restaurant's in Hollywood Studios. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then the other thing to keep in mind is how crowded the parks will be while you're there. It is really nice if you're going during a very busy time like spring break, the summer, or holidays to have a park hopper. Because if you go to one park and it is just slammed with people, you can always leave and try another park. All right, so now we know when we're going. We have our resort, we have our park pass, and so the last piece of the puzzle is to figure out if a dining plan is right for you. Since you're staying at a Disney resort, you do have the option of adding a dining plan. Disney actually has 5 dining plans, but here are the main 3: a quick service, the Disney dining plan, and the Disney Deluxe dining plan. So your quick service dining plan is going to include 2 quick service meals and 1 snack per night of your stay and a refillable mug that you can use for soda at the resort. Now, I really emphasized per night because this is the most confusing part of the Disney dining plan. This is not set up to cover every single one of your meals. So for instance, if you were going to Disney World Monday through Friday, that's 5 days, but it's only 4 nights. So you would only have 8 quick service meals for those 5 days. So that's just something to keep in mind. For the Disney dining plan, you get 1 table service meal credit, 1 quick service meal credit, and 1 snack per night. And again, you get that refillable mug. Now, it's important I say table service meal credit because some of the restaurants and shows require 2 meal credits. So when you're trying to figure out which restaurants you're going to and how to use your dining plan, this is where I can be super helpful, helping you figure all that out. If you're going to use 2 dining credits for here on this day, what are we going to do, on the other day? Just really keeping that in mind and looking at that. And then the Disney Deluxe plan gives you 3 meals and 2 snacks per night. And the meals can be whatever you want. You could have 3 table service meals, 3 quick service meals, any combination in between. This is the meal package that is really going to cover all your meals. So this is the one where if you want to know going in, you want to make this vacation all-inclusive, this is the dining plan you want to have. It's really popular. I work with a lot of extended families where it's grandma, grandpa, the son and daughter, and the grandkids, and grandma and grandpa are paying for everything. This is the meal plan they tend to pick, just so going in they know everything's paid for, they know it's all included, they don't have to worry about it. It's also great for families who book pretty far in advance, so they have that budgeting. So instead of getting to Disney World and now you have a high credit card bill when you get home, you can add this Disney dining plan from the beginning and you're paying it off month by month. So that's another great perk. Now, in terms of whether or not the Disney dining plan will save you money, my recommendation is to make your dining reservations and then evaluate adding the dining plan. The quick service dining plan in general doesn't usually save families a lot of money because in order to save money, you have to be ordering the huge combo platters, and most families with kids aren't going to order that much food per meal. Now, if you do end up with, 1 dining reservation at least per day, or a couple of the 2 credit meals, I definitely recommend adding the Disney dining plan or the Disney Deluxe dining plan because you will see savings of 25 to 35% with those dining plans. But again, this is something we work on together. Once we make your reservation, I help you through your dining, figuring out sort of what makes the most sense based on your interest and kind of the itinerary you have in mind. And then we can do that analysis to see if the Disney dining plan is worth it, either for budgeting purposes or because you want to try to save money. So there we go. You did it. You have your dates, you have your resort, you have your park pass, you have your dining plan. You're ready to make your booking. So you can book online, you can call Disney, or you can book through me, Angie at tripswithangie.com. As we talked about before, no fees. What you pay to book through me is exactly the same as if you book through Disney. But the big difference is going to be I am going to keep you up to date and apply any new promotions that your booking may qualify for. So Disney at any one time can have 5 to 9 promotions running, and they all come out within that 6-month window. So I work with my clients to look at, okay, a new promotion came out. Let's see if it saves you money on your existing booking, or what are the options if we wanted to switch your resort to save you more money. I do that for you. I'm on hold for hours with Disney for you. In fact, one of my clients said, she's like, I know exactly what I want, and I'm just going to book through you so you can be on hold with Disney so I don't have to. And that's exactly how it works. I also help with your dining and fast pass selection. So it's a little overwhelming trying to figure out where you should eat, when you should eat, what rides you should get a fast pass for, what rides would be best for kids your age, especially if you haven't been in a while, you're not really sure what's there. And the rides and attractions keep changing. There's ride closures and updates. So I help you go through all of that. So if you do want to contact me with any questions or to make that Disney World booking, there's my phone number, 813-501-3106. I do want to offer you, for watching this webinar, a free 20-minute consultation. The easiest way to book that is to go to tripswithangie.youcanbook.me. You can see my whole calendar there and just schedule yourself in for a time that makes the most sense. So I hope I gave you a good overview here of the big decisions you have to make when you're initially making your Disney World booking. I would love to help you and your family plan your Disney World vacation, so I do hope you get in touch, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much.